How are we doing, Cowboys? It's Mr. Lincoln here for the second live session on day 3 of the 2020-2021 school year, doing virtual classes for McCollum High School. We are going to talk about how to work with your Google Classroom, how to turn in assignments, and how to do proper internet searches for whenever you need to find stuff on the internet today. Okay, a lot of this stuff is going to be real helpful to you, especially in this online environment where a lot of stuff is going to be needed to be researched online, figured out online, done online. Okay, so you're going to be doing a lot of stuff here over the course of the year with the online tools, and you've got to get comfortable with them real fast if you're going to keep up with the stuff that we've got to do in this environment. So let's go ahead and make sure that you are going to be able to handle that kind of stuff. Okay. Previously, we've talked about ourselves in the classroom, specifically me, and we've also discussed on day 2 what to do for your weekly assignment, which is the word of the day, quote of the day. And hopefully you got that done. If you have questions with that, we can go ahead and pause the video right now if necessary to answer those questions. And hopefully I got all those questions answered. Okay, so now the next thing that I would like to talk about that we can discuss is that we are going to take a look at how to save stuff to your Google Drive, how to save stuff to your computer, and how to turn work into the Google Classroom. Okay, let's say you're working on a Word document. Okay, you've got a Word document going and you want to try and get this Word document saved. It is something that you are working on. Let's go ahead and split the screen here between me and the work being done. Hopefully you can see things pretty well. If you have Microsoft Word or some other word kind of word processing program, saving it is pretty easy. There is this item right here, which you being a young person, you may not even know what this symbol means. This is a floppy disk. This is what we used to use back when I was your age to save information. Now it's just the symbol for saving stuff. But what you want to do is whenever you are done with your work, let's say you've typed in, this is my work. I have typed in lots of stuff. Okay, let's say you've done your whole project and everything, and you got all your stuff in there. All right, you're ready to save. So you're going to go to File. You're going to go to Save As. Okay, and you're going to select where it is you want to go. Now, if you've done a bunch of stuff already, you can choose from one of these that you've previously used. But if you need to go to a new place, you can either select this PC or just this Browse right here. And you can choose where you send it. Now, normally on a personal computer, it's going to go to Documents. That's fine. Documents is a good place to save your stuff because it keeps it in a folder that is specifically designed for documents. Some people save to the desktop. The desktop is also a place that you can save your work, but here's the deal. If you save to your desktop, the desktop is actually, shall we say, open at all times, and each of the things that you save on the desktop is kind of sort of in a somewhat running program condition. I mean, it's like it's kind of active. Okay, it's waiting for you to click on it to do some things. So if you have something on the desktop, that's actually eating up a bit of the processing power of the computer. So if you have a lot of stuff saved to your desktop, I know it's nice and convenient, but you might actually be harming your computer's performance, and it might not be working as well as it can be because of all the things you've got on your desktop. So every now and then, if you're the kind of person who saves stuff to the desktop, go through and clean stuff up and make sure that you just have the stuff that you need on top. Because if you and like save it to a new place, save it to the document, save it to the pictures or something like that, wherever it should be, put it there, and then you don't have the problem of too much stuff clogging up your computer because it's running on the desktop. Okay, so when you do a file name, here at McCollum, in my class specifically, whenever you're going to turn in a file, I need to organize these in such a way that your names line up pretty much with the grade book. It makes it a lot easier on me to flip through each assignment because they're all in order. So if you put your name properly on your document, I can get through grading faster. That makes me happier, and then that's probably better for you. Trust me. So, what you're going to do, and I know you can't see it very well due to the size limitations here on the desktop, so let's go ahead and bring up the PowerPoint scene a little bit more. Okay, the Word scene. All right, so you're going to go right here to where it says File Name, and then you're going to put in your last name. So I would put in Lincoln. Okay, and then you do a space, and then you put in your first initial. Okay, so my first name is Scott, so I'm just going to put in S. Okay, Lincoln S. And let me see if I can manage this some more. Okay, I'm going to say Lincoln S, and then I'm going to give the name of the assignment, whatever it is I happen to be doing. Make it descriptive. Make it something that means something to you so that when you're looking for it later, it actually like it describes the document that you're working on. Okay, so I'm going to say Lincoln S, and then I'm going to say this project is, let's say this was a English paper on Shakespeare. So I would say English space dash space Shakespeare. Okay, so I'd say Lincoln S English dash Shakespeare, and that's a description of what is going on with this document. Now, let's say that you have something that is done on a regular basis and you want to save it so that you know which one this is. Did I do this on the 24th? Did I do this on the 25th? But here's the deal. If you put in August 24th, okay, August 25th, August 26th, August 27th, August 28th, August 29th, August 30th, and then you start with September. And you say September 1, September 2, September 3. All of these are in order, no problem, because A comes before S. But what happens when you get to October? Then it's out of order. It'll go August, October, September. And now it's not in month order. Okay? So the trick is, though, that if you want to do things by chronological order, you have to go from the biggest unit to the smallest unit. So the first thing you're going to do whenever you're trying to put in information and you're trying to give it a save name, hopefully you can see this, you're going to put the year first. So I'm going to say 2020, and then I'm going to do a dash. Now, a dash, the minus sign, okay? A dash, the minus sign, okay? Do that whenever you want to use a slash. Don't use slashes. When you're talking about computer programming, the slash means something. The slash means I'm going to a new folder. That's not what you're doing here. You're trying to give something a name, okay? So instead of using a slash, use a dash in between your months, days, and years, okay? So I said month, and I said 2020, okay? Dash. Now I'm going to use the month because that's the next biggest unit. So I'm going to say 08. And I'm going to do another dash. And then I'm going to say 25 because today's the 25th. And that indicates that I've done this project today. Now you can give it the name of the thing that you want it to be, like English Daily Writing. Okay? Or you could switch these around and you can put the English Daily Writing in front. And then the date behind it, and then everything that's English Day Writing will be in front. Okay, so here's what it does. A computer will go and alphabetize things one letter at a time, and as long as every letter matches up, it keeps going to the next letter until it finds one that's different. So if you had all of your English Daily Writings like this, then the only thing that would be different between them is the dates, and so it would organize on the dates. Okay? If you were to put the English writing behind it, though, it would organize by the dates first, and then you'd have English Daily Writing, physics assignment, math assignment. Everything would be ordered by the day with everything that you did that day all together in alphabetical order. Okay? So, when you are writing in my class, the first thing that you put on your document, on your file name when you are saving a file, is last name, first initial. Then you would put the name of the assignment, describe the assignment, what's in it. And then if you have some kind of date that you need to do, you would say year, 2020, dash, month, 0809. Be sure to put the 0809 because if you just do 8 and then you have October, which is 10, it's not 10, it's just the 1. And 1 comes before 8. So you would basically go January, October, November, December, because that's 1 with a 0 after it, 1 with a 1 after it, 1 with a 2 after it, and then you'd go to 2, February. So if you want to keep them in order, you would say 01 January, 02 February. Okay, 02 is February, 03 is March. So for your early months, you would say 01, 02, 03. Okay, and then dash, and then the date. Okay, so I hope that's not too confusing. Anyway, save your projects. There is going to be a slightly different way to save your project. When you get to school, we do have inboxes, outboxes, and your student drives. We will get back into that once we start setting foot on campus again, whenever that happens to be. Okay, so that's enough about those. Be careful when you go to this point. Okay, if you have a document and you have been working on it and you did not save it yet, it's going to pop up with this, save changes to your file. Now, if you saved, that's great, it saved your work, but you didn't get to name it the right way, and you might not know where it is that it went to. If you say don't save, though, it's gone. The whole thing's gone. You just wasted 30 minutes of your life. Okay? Always be careful with this. Oh, and one other thing that I found happened a lot during the school year. When the bell rings, some people do not save their work. They just work on it, work on it, work on it. Then when the bell rings, they're so ready to get out of class and so excited to leave for whatever reason that they just go log out and jet. Well, guess what? Now you're relying on me to see whether or not you saved your work. Because the computer will have this open and be like, what do you want me to do with this? Kid said to log out, but he didn't save this. Am I going to be a nice guy that day? You better hope so. Otherwise, you just wasted a whole bunch of time. Am I going to see it before the next kid comes to class and decides to log you out? I might. I might not. And that next kid might decide to just say, nope, it's my turn. Don't save it. Just move on, computer. And then all your information goes poof. So, it's a really good idea to save the name of your work when you start. And then easily save at the end of the day before you leave from the classroom. Okay, so always keep that stuff in mind. Now, I don't really need to keep this, so I'm going to say don't save. Okay, and that just doesn't save anything that we've done at all. Now, here is the Google Classroom. Here's the name of the Google Classroom. If you've got multiple classrooms, you can see the 3 lines over here. You can find all of your different classes. Here's the stream. And this shows the basic activity. It also shows the codes, and it shows the meet links and everything like that. And you can see this is the most recent stuff here at the top. Okay? All your top stuff is like the most recent things that I've posted. In addition, you can also see classwork where different assignments have been made. You can see the people who are in the class. I can anyway. And I can also see grades, and I'm not going to show you those. But let's go back to the stream. Now, some of you are having troubles with getting in the check-in for the day. And this is very important because this is how we are taking attendance right now. Okay? I think it's great that you came in and you logged into the live stream. And I do have ways of checking to see that you're in the live stream. But what I really need everybody to do every day, just in case, just to make sure, is to go ahead and find the check-in for the day. Click on that. Okay, and it's going to go to a form. Okay, for you, it should go directly to the form if you click on the form, and now you fill in your first name, you fill in your last name, and you give me whatever period it is that you happen to be in. And then you say submit. That's all you need to do. And all you're going to do is do it once. You're only going to do it once. Okay? If you try and do it twice, it's not going to let you. It's going to basically back you out of it because that's all that we need you to do is to say that you were here at least once today. Okay? Now, You may be thinking to yourself, ha ha ha, all I have to do is be at school once. Yeah, but we also have assignments, okay? The assignments that happen are things where you need to get work done, okay? So for example, this classroom agreement and internet acknowledgement that we all worked on the other day, you can see on yours that there will be things done and things attached to the project, okay? You can click on these. Now, some of them will say Word, okay? And occasionally these Word documents are going to be something that you have to open up and work on and then return to me. But sometimes they are just there for you to look at and see what the information is, okay? When you have a document, okay, it's going to pop up like this. If you need to have a document that you are going to be working on, click the three buttons over here on the side and open it in a new window. This will open up a more extensive version of it with more options. One of those options is this little button right here with the arrow pointing down into a little box. That's the download button. When you click that, it's going to go a white screen just like it did, and then it might have something down here that says, in some, like this is the document that I'm bringing up. And if you've got the things correctly clicked to open this kind of document anytime you bring up one, it will automatically start downloading the document. And bada boom, bada bing, here you go. Now, one of the things that you need to do first is enable editing. Okay? If a document is meant for you to be working on because I gave it to you to do work, then click on that gold enable editing key, and then you will have the full options for doing all of your work in Microsoft Office or whatever program we happen to be running with. Okay? Now you have control to it and stuff like that. If the document says you need permission to do it, or you don't have permission to work on this document, or some such information like that, that basically means that you probably shouldn't be working on it or touching it. Okay, you have done something incorrectly, and it's probably not for you to touchy on. Okay, now that is the way you download a document for your own personal use that you can use. You can even save that document once it comes up as your own personal copy and do what you need to with it. Okay, there's also the print button right here and a few extra things that you can do on the triple dot right here. Okay, don't ever ask me for permission on a document, because then you're affecting my copy of it, and my copy is like the blank, you know, copy. And if you start working on my copy, then you give everybody the answers, and I don't want that. I want to know what you know. I don't want to know what somebody else knows. Okay? All right. So that is that. That is a way to get documents. So once again, you go to your training or whatever it is that you happen to be doing. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Okay. You go to your training. If it's a document to be used by you, you click on it. You use the triple dot to say open a new window. It opens it in a new window. You can use this download arrow here to get a new document version of that on your own system, which you can use for your own personal stuff. Okay? Clicking the enable editing button in the gold bar here will allow you to be able to make changes to the document. Okay. If you ever lose those documents, or if you ever can't find them, you can always open up a file. Okay. You can open up the computer icon. See this little PC icon right here? That is something that's where you get your computer's files from. You open up that, it takes you to the main thing, and you can find something on the side here that says downloads. You can usually scroll to find downloads, and you can click on that, and that's where all the things that you have downloaded off the internet go to initially. Okay, so that's where that comes from. All right, now let's talk about Google Forms. Okay, like I said, a lot of times these things are going to be quizzes. These things are going to be just a check of your understanding to make sure that you're keeping up with the information. And so a lot of times I'll just do a simple check with the Google form. Okay, once again, first name and last name. This helps me to alphabetize things. I will also usually put in something if necessary to take your class period down. That way I can have like real easily organized documents so that I can quickly put in some grades. Okay, but always hit submit down here at the bottom. Okay, and now let's take a look at a different kind of assignment. Occasionally you will download documents, you will make changes to those documents, and then you will need to turn them in to me. Usually within the assignment, this is an assignment that I have because I also have to do training sometimes, and I also have to turn in stuff to the school district. Okay, I was doing career technical education check training one time, and the person who was teaching the class had us do an activity, so she posted to the classroom an assignment. When I clicked on this assignment, the assignment was right here. I clicked on the assignment. You can also find that kind of stuff in the classwork section. So you click on it, and then you say View Assignment, and it takes you to the assignment. Now, you can ask me questions through this add class comment kind of stuff. That usually goes into a general forum. There are also ways to be more specific in your asking of questions. But once you're done, let's talk about that. Once you're done, you've got your information, you've made your changes, you've saved your document. You would not believe the number of times that I've gotten a blank document because someone took the file, saved it with their name on it, made all the changes, and then uploaded the document without saving again. And guess what? As far as the computer knows, the original document hasn't been changed because you never saved over that copy. So when they go and add it in, it's a blank document because it was the very first saving of the document. Save your work first, then come here to turn it in. Now, what you're going to do is you're probably going to have a button right here, something that says Add or Create, which is your way of giving the Google Classroom your information. So Add or Create, find it. Is it a Google Doc that you created and that's in your Google Drive? Is it a link? Probably not. Is it a file? That is something that happens. Okay, files using Google Drives. Recent Google Drives. Upload is where you're probably going to be doing this a lot with your Microsoft Office documents that we are going to be working on in class. If you have, let's say, an Excel spreadsheet that we were working on because we're doing Excel. Here's my little Excel worksheet that I had worked on. I'm going to go ahead and grab this. Okay, once I go to upload, it says browse or drag a file here. You can click on browse, you can find the file if you want to, or if you've got it handy dandy right there on your desktop or in a folder, grab it, drag it. When it goes blue like this, let go of the mouse, and it plops it in there for you. Now you'll see a little screen like this. It'll say it's uploading the file, okay? And now the very important turn in. Turn in, when you click this button, shows me that you have completed the work. If you don't show me that you've completed the work, then you haven't turned in the work, really, have you? Because you can always take this out and put something new in. Okay? So when you turn it in, it's something of a little bit more of a permanent addition to the collection here, so to speak. Okay? It is the document that is turned in to me for grading, and that shows me that you have done your work and you have turned it in a specific time, because sometimes these assignments are going to be graded for time. I'm going to need it by Friday, and if you turn it in Saturday, that's not good enough. Okay? So once you have put in your work, then you click on the Turn In button, and you're done. That's it. You got it golden. You're ready to go. You're all set. Okay? Here is also the private comments area that I was talking about. If you have a personal problem that you don't want to just, tell the whole class that you're having issues, if you want to send something privately to me, send the little private comments here. It'll go to the teacher, just me, and then we'll see what we can do to help you out. Okay? All right. So that is how you turn in assignments in the Google Classroom. Okay? Hopefully, so we've got forms. We know how to turn in forms, and now we know how to turn in documents or other types of files to turn in. Okay? Now, one of the things that we do every now and then, and you're going to be doing this a lot during high school, during college, you're going to need to find information. Okay? You're going to have to find information, and unlike me, where I had to actually go to the library, look up books in the Dewey Decimal System, blah, 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 you fortunate people have the internet. Okay? But most of you don't really know exactly how to use the internet. You have specific... This is the thing that adults misinterpret about kids all the time. You guys were born with technology, but you only know specific things about it a lot of times. Okay? You're very talented in some areas. Like many of you can type with your thumbs way faster than any of us ever could. But when I put a keyboard in front of you, you're terrible at it. You're like, and that's awful. You're going to be in a business environment. You are going to need to do things on a keyboard. Okay, phone. You're not completely tied to your phone. You will be working at a desk occasionally. You will need to know how to use a keyboard. Learn how to use a keyboard, folks. I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to do everything on your phone for a very long time. And mind implant phones are a very long distance kind of thing away. That's not going to be anytime soon. So learn to type on a keyboard. It's very helpful. Okay, don't do this. This is super slow and sucks and shows that you're not professional. Okay, now as far as using the internet in other ways, you guys need to learn how to do searches on the internet that are much more specific than what you're normally doing now. It can get you a lot more relevant information, and it's just general good knowledge to have about how to search for things on the internet. Okay, so here's an article that I found at mindtools.com. Okay, I'm going to save that, and I'm going to put that into I'm going to put that as a link, and you guys can read this article on your own time. It's only a 9-minute read, so you should be fine. Okay, 7 ways to find things that you want on the internet. Okay, let's talk. First off, Google is not the only internet search engine. There's more than Google. Okay, Google has what's called an algorithm. It is a computer code that is designed to work a certain way to do certain things. An algorithm is a basic idea in computer programming. The Google algorithm searches for things on the internet a certain way. And Google frequently changes the way that it searches for things because it knows that people figure out how it searches for things, and those people try and make it always find their stuff. So Google is always trying to make their search engine better and also not as predictable so that the best information shows up. But here's the thing. Google misses stuff. Google doesn't tell you everything. Okay? There are multiple different search engines that can be used. The 3 big ones, so to speak, are Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Google is done by the Google Corporation. It's like one of those words that has become a verb. If I Google something, that used to I used to say if I'm going to search for something. Now people say I'm going to Google this. Okay. Bing is a search engine that's been developed by Microsoft, the people who made Microsoft Office, the people who made your Microsoft Windows program that runs your computer. Microsoft likes to be into every facet of your life. That's why they sell Xboxes at a loss. Yes, when you buy an Xbox for $250, Microsoft actually put $300 worth of stuff into it. They lose money every single time they sell an Xbox. But Microsoft wants to be part of every facet of your life, and they're willing to do that. So Bing is one of those things that Microsoft has done in order to be more into your life. Now, Bing is a good search engine. It does a really good job of finding stuff, just as good as Google does. But Bing has a different algorithm because it's 2 different companies. So it might find some stuff that Google didn't. And that stuff might be what you actually need to find. Also, choice number 3, which has been around longer than both of the other 2, basically, is Yahoo. Yahoo is a very old and very good search engine. It will find all the stuff you need it to, and Yahoo's got a pretty good news site attached to it as well. I like to use Yahoo every now and then just to make sure that Google and Bing didn't miss anything. Okay, so if you use a combination of these 3, you might find actually what you need, and it wasn't like if you just went to Google, you might miss something that Yahoo finds that was worthwhile. Okay, Google usually returns the greatest variety of results, and it has the largest catalog. Bing has a more extensive autocomplete result, which means if you're typing something into the search bar, it's going to fill out what it is that it thinks you're trying to say. Okay, that's what autocomplete is. It tries to figure out what you're trying to say before you actually say it, and if it does, then that's really helpful, and you can just click on it, and it's like you're already done with your thing that you're searching for. Yahoo offers search as a part of a wider range of services that includes news and shopping. There are also DuckDuckGo, which has made a name for itself recently because it is less intrusive. It does not collect the information that you use as much, and it's kind of trying to bill itself as an alternative to these very big corporate ones. Okay, Dogpile, I've never used it. I've never heard of it. It's new. Okay, all right. Now, specific keywords. You can use specific keywords to find something. For example, if you typed in stand design because you wanted to find a little stand that you can put something on, stand design would give you a lot of results in various different ways. For example, a stand for computers, a stand for your TV, a stand for your potted plant. Okay, but if you say exhibition stand designer, that means a specific thing. Woo. Okay, an exhibition stand designer means that it is the type of stand that you use when you go to a convention and you want to put a billboard up that says all the things that your company is about. Okay, that's a very different thing. So because you got more specific and you added on this word exhibition, we can really key in on those keywords, and they will be even better at finding the thing that you need to find. Now, sometimes too many words are bad. Okay? Words like in, of, and on just get in the way. Most of the search engines ignore them. Some of them actually try and find things with the word of in it. Like if you don't return too many results, Google will start returning things that have the word of in it. And guess what? Almost every web page has the word of in it somewhere. And so you're going to get a lot of results that don't make any sense. Okay? And but, you could probably leave those out too unless it's very integral to the title that you're trying to search for. Okay? A and the, almost completely useless. Don't even bother typing them in. Okay? You want to look for keywords. Specific keywords. Okay? If you are looking for the lion and the rose, okay, you could probably just say lion and rose, and that will be fine. Okay? The lion and the rose may not even be necessary, okay, because it's probably going to drop the thes right out because that just interferes with the search. Okay, so eliminate those stop words. They call them stop words. Eliminate the ands, the ofs, the thes. Get rid of those. They're not helping your search out. Okay, using the simplest form of keywords is usually really good. Okay, if you can avoid using ings, s's, or eds, okay, it probably helps you out. Okay, so just type in service instead of services. Okay, that'll probably help you. Finance instead of financed or financing will probably help your search. Okay, now if you need to find something specific, like something that's got to have the word the in the title somewhere, you would put quotation marks around it. Okay, don't just type in director. If you really needed to find director, you would put director in quotation marks. And then that word must be part of the title. Okay? Sometimes you're typing in a lot of stuff, but you really needed to find this particular thing. Okay? So you put quotes around the word, that keys in. That says this is a very important word. It must be part of this search. Google will often do that where it's like at the bottom of the Google search it will say missing words, and then it'll list all the words that it didn't find in the document that it thinks you want, but it can't find the words that you actually put into the thing. If you must find those words, quotes around it is the thing that makes it happen. Okay? Sometimes the plus symbol. If you put plus directly in front of the word, don't put a space after the plus, just put plus, okay, then that kind of keys in on it for the search engine. Now, Google doesn't work that way, but Yahoo definitely does. Okay? All right, so if you've got a phrase like Director of Human Resources and it has to say exactly Director of Human Resources, put double quotes around both ends of that, and it will definitely search that specific phrase. Now, unhelpful words. Let's say that you are looking for something like you're trying to find out about Mustangs, the horse that runs the plains, not the Ford Mustang, which is a car. If you just put in Mustang, I guarantee you'll get a bazillion results that are all about Ford Mustangs. But if you put in Mustang minus Ford, then you'll start seeing results that are not about cars and a lot more of them that are about horses. Okay? So, put a negative sign in front of a word that you don't want. Then that's taken out. And it won't bring any searches that have that particular word in it. Okay? Now, this little symbol. Look on your keyboard right now. Look down on your keyboard right now. Find the number 8 above the letters, and you will also see this little star symbol. That is called the asterisk. It is also known as the wild card. Okay? Pressing Shift 8 will give you this little symbol. Okay? Now, if you say star and something, that means that I want to see these words, but I don't care what comes before it. Okay? You can also put the star symbol after something. You can say, I want to see searching for, and then I don't care what comes after it. Just show me everything that's got searching for. Okay? In computer terms, we often use this as a way to indicate, like if I want to look up something alphabetically, I want to know everybody that has the last name starting with the letter L. I would say, search for L star. And then every time somebody has a last name with L, I don't care if they've got an A or an X or whatever following it, it's going to bring up everybody whose name starts with L, because I said L star. And the star means wild card, and wild card means I don't care what comes next, just give it to me as long as it's got this other stuff. Okay? Another computer term that you will see if you get into computer programming is or and and. Okay? Or is a term that means if it's got this, give it to me. If it's got this other thing, also give it to me. Okay? Or means that either one of them will do. I don't need both. I just need either one of these to be true. Give it to me. And is the opposite, so to speak. And means I need to see SME computers, and in that search, I also have to have it say Devlin Corporation. Okay? And means both of them must be there, otherwise don't bother me. Okay? Both of these things must be in, otherwise I don't care. Okay? Searching for a specific site, if you put in the specific site, it'll take you to that specific site. Finding related sites, you just type in related, colon, and then whatever website you're looking for. Okay? Now, take care in your internet searches. Some companies are tricky. They are paying Google or Yahoo for top billing. You might be looking up something about Mustangs because you want to talk about the ponies. If you type in Mustang, the Ford Motor Company wants to be the first thing that you see when you type in Mustang. Okay? Ford pays Google tons of money every year to ensure that anytime the word Mustang is typed in, Ford is at the top of the list. Okay? Their specific websites are at the top of the list. There's also ways to tweak the words, put in meta characters, meta keywords. There are ways to make websites more attractive to the Google search algorithm. Okay, remember we talked about the algorithm before. The program that determines what Google searches for, how Google searches for it. Okay, this is a process known as search engine optimization. Search engine optimization, SEO. It is a field in business now. You can actually have a job as a person who specializes in search engine optimization, which basically means you are promising a company that you will get them more clicks on the internet. Spend a little money at Google, Google puts you to the top of the list. Before, maybe you're at the top, maybe you're at the bottom. There are many different things that goes into how the internet searches for stuff. One of those things is how many times that site's been accessed, because it indicates that it's a popular site and many people are finding the answer they need there. And the other thing is how much does this word match up to the search engine criteria the search that you're trying to find. So there are companies that specialize in hitting up a website multiple times a lot so that they can have that number of hits that Google is looking for. There are also people who try and put in particular words to catch Google's attention for these particular kinds of searches. So, search engine optimization is what that's called. If you ever see something at the top of the list and then you look just below the descriptions, you'll see a little green box that says ad. That means advertisement. That means that that's a commercial, basically. That is not necessarily the best result. That is an advertisement. Always go after the ads stop and look for the first thing after that. That's the first thing that actually comes up in your search. The little green advertisement ones, those are fake. Those are paid for. Those are people trying to get your attention. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. Okay? Now, let's review. Vary your search engines. Use Google, use Yahoo, use Bing. They return different results and they may find the thing that you need. Use specific keywords. Be as specific as possible in your wording. Simplify your search terms by stripping out unnecessary words like and, of, and the. Use quotation marks around specific phrases that must be said in a particular way. And remove unhelpful words, like if you're looking for Mustangs and you want to find just the horsies, put in minus sign Ford, and then you will not get all of the car stuff that is up there. Okay, refine your search engine using operators. Use operators to search specific sites, related sites, and particular combination of terms. And avoid search pitfalls. Basically, the internet is for sale sometimes, and they are trying to get you to go to their site by paying for it. So be sure that you are clicking on actual search results and not advertisements unless you really do want to click on that advertisement for that company. Okay, I hope we've been informative. This has been about 40 minutes. We are soon going to have an internet search activity that will be posted up tomorrow, and you will do that internet search activity and you will turn it back into the Google Classroom. Now, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. All right? See y'all later, Cowboys.